Alright guys, so here we go with part 2 of the max damage quality build, and we are using the Lorian Greatsword, probably, like I said in the part 1 of the video if you watched that, the most overpowered Greatsword in the game, or the strongest Greatsword in the game in terms of damage. You're going to see here just how damaging it is. You can see that the Gold Phantom here is at around 66% health, and you're just going to see what's going to happen in a second. We can delay the R2 swing, as you can see there. So he rolled, we waited for him to roll, and as soon as he came in at us, we instantly just R2'd and killed him in one hit, taking up 66% of his health. So we heal once to have a one-on-one with the host, but you know, as an invader, it's our job to prevent the host from completing his objective, so we're just going to go in on him. So we're just going to do what it takes to win. He does heal up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But you're going to see, again, just the absolute raw power of this build. If you watched part 1, you saw how the build broke down, and you're going to see all the pieces come together towards the end of this fight. So we're chasing the opponent down. Again, we can just do the L2 buff without following up if we see the enemy rolling away. Somehow mess up my roll, get stuck on the host there. Nonetheless, though, the rolling R1 with the thrust attack is very powerful. He wasn't able to hit us out of it. He hit us again, but we were able to poise through it looks like, and connect with our R1. And since our weapon obviously does more damage, we win that fight just barely, thankfully enough. So the next one, we're just going to showcase, you know, you've already seen me use the Farron Greatsword if you watch my other regen build video. The Farron Greatsword, probably one of the most top tier PvP weapons in the game. And what you just saw me do with that overhead attack, that was a mistake. And if you watch part 1 of this video, I talked about that. You don't want to be following up with a third L1 attack, because you're going to be doing the overhead swing. So you can see it right there, I just did 2 in a row and I didn't follow up for the third one. If you end up doing an R1 swing followed up into an L1, do not do L1 again, because you won't end up doing a second sweep. You'd actually end up doing an overhead attack. So we switched it up, went back to the Lorian Greatsword, and you're just going to see just again just how powerful this weapon is. So poor guy, I mean, he's using a dark sword it looks like, and it probably does a lot of damage, but we hit him with the L2 R2 combo. It looks like we took away again 66% of his health, followed up with just a running R1 and just finished him off. So this video or this clip is really funny. We invade this host, and I invaded this guy twice, and all he was doing was waiting with his 3 buddies, because he kept resummoning them, waiting to gank people or gank invaders. And I mean, it kind of sucks that, you know, when you're fighting in these tight quarters, that you end up hitting other red phantoms. But I guess, you know, it is what it is. It's part of the game. See right here, like, I end up hitting the red phantom. But he actually has 3 phantoms with him here. You only see 2. There's the third one in the back. But again, the Farron Greatsword, amazing for just anti-ganks. Just barely missed killing that phantom there, but we end up killing him with the R1 rolling attack. So we take care of one. This other phantom is just getting absolutely destroyed. But we're gonna come in and try to help him out here. If only I had more stamina, I think could have killed the other, or at least one of the other phantoms there. This other guy dies, and this is what makes ganks so annoying, is you got people using fast weapons. This guy's using the frost sword, and then you got somebody using the fume sword. So if I get stun locked by the frost sword and then I get followed up by the fume sword, I'm taking a ton of damage. But somehow, you know, look at this guy, oh my god, he's summoning another phantom, like really? Somehow, you know, we're able to get through it, and you know, these guys are just doing anything. Look, they're running back because they're scared, you know, healing. Like, it's, again, it's part of the game. I mean, this is a totally valid thing. I mean, if you're going to invade, you got to expect this is going to happen to you, right? I mean, is it a pussy tactic? Somewhat, but you know what, like I said, it's a part of the game, and it's well within your means to do this if you want. If you got friends who just want to sit around and gank, I mean, I don't really know how this is that fun, but if you want to do it, you can, to troll people, for sure. But there we get some help from the Winged Knight, and we were able to take out the other 2 phantoms, but look at this, we just barely get stuck, and it was almost a fair 1v1 fight, but you know, he summoned someone else and ended up killing us. So pretty much right after that invasion, I invaded the same guy again. Was able to survive just a little bit, but was able, I mean, poor purple phantom, was able to get up to where enemies were just so that I have some cover. But this guy is really chasing me down here. Got hit out of something there by probably I don't know, like a spell or an arrow. I don't even know what hit me out of my attack. Couldn't recover in time for some reason right there, but check this out. This guy's gonna get hit by that, and then we're gonna hit him with the rolling R1 to finish him off. We're gonna finish that guy off with the sweep attack, and oh my god, look, like this is So funny, these kids, man. These kids are just hilarious. Like, this guy's almost dead. Like, I don't know how he was able to roll out of this. And I even tried to follow up with another L1, but that was a mistake. I should have just chased him down, knowing that he was going to be the kind of guy to run away and try to heal. But we ended up just white crystalling out of that match because he ended up summoning more phantoms and I had no Estus left anyway. So, you know, killed some of his phantoms and left the match. Anyways, in this matchup, we're back to normal duels and we're using the Lorian Greatsword again. And you're going to see, look at this, like we're able to attack through attacks. And this weapon does so much damage, and with the poise that we have, we're able to just swing through attacks, as you can see. And this is a great match to show that. When you go off with trades on this weapon, you know that for the most part you're going to come out on top. If we didn't kill him there, we would have followed up with the second R2 and killed him with the overheaded swing right there. So really powerful stuff. Back to some invasions in the Farron keep. Just rushing down the host. You know how I like to play. I mean, I understand that this isn't the kind of PvP style that a lot of people like. A lot of people like to play more defensive with shields, as you guys can see. I don't ever use shields in my PvP builds. I didn't use them in Dark Souls 2. I don't like to parry at all. I never did that in Dark Souls 2 either, or Demon Souls, to be honest. I'm just a pure rushdown kind of guy. So once in a while, yeah, I do get parried. It kind of sucks, especially with people who spam it. If you saw my PvP fights from the first regen build, you saw that there was a guy who was doing nothing but parrying me, or trying to parry me. He would literally just stand in one place and just parry. And he ended up getting me once, but in the end we killed him because honestly, like, reading parries isn't too hard. I mean, you know, sometimes you come up against players who are using like a straight sword, like an R1 spammy weapon with a parry shield, and that's kind of annoying. Usually I like to switch out to a spear for those enemies. I don't like to use big heavy weapons for that kind of stuff, just because they have much more mobility than you do. Anyways, keeping it into the vibe of, you know, switching the weapons up, here we're using the Farron Greatsword, and in the first hit you saw there, we were able to again poise through his spear and just complete our successive R1 attacks, and then we followed up with an L1 a little bit later. So Farron Greatsword, man, I mean, easily one of the best PvP weapons. I mean, I've said this so many times, but I mean, look at this, like, people can't escape it. I mean, if you want to win PvP, make a dex character with 40 dexterity. You know, more strength the better for the more damage. If you watch my part 1 video, the Farron Greatsword does 500 damage at 40 strength, 40 dex, but it's just easily like one of the best PvP weapons in the game. So in this battle, we switch back to the Lorian Greatsword. This is like one of the first PvP battles I think that I was using the sword, so I wasn't really in the groove of how it's used just yet, so I do make a few mistakes. But nonetheless, I mean, the sword is just so OP that all you need is really just one good connect, and you're back in the game, no matter how much damage you end up taking at the beginning. So it's one of those weapons where, you know, the fight's never over until it's over, because it really only takes one hit for you to get back into it. So you can see here, I've only hit him once. He has a bit of a life lead on me. It looks like I have just above 50% health. He's at about 75, maybe 70. You know, we mess up there. We probably should have went through with the R2, but we end up getting the rolling R1 on him. Again, very powerful with this weapon. The rolling R1, while two-handed, just, you know, thrust through attacks. And right there you can see, like, he was trying to do his weapon art with the Godhard twin swords, and we were able to again just poise through with the R2 attack and just connect it and kill him instantly. Like, that's how much damage it does. Absolutely insane. So I ended up streaming a little bit. For those of you who don't know, you can follow me on Twitch if you want to see me stream live builds, PvP in real time, I guess you could say. My Twitch link is in the description of all of my videos, so feel free to follow me there if you like the videos. But this time we're going up, it looks like, against the dual wielding katanas. Now he pulls out a shield, so obviously I know what's going to happen here. He's going to try to parry me, and as you can see here, we're down to 50% and we haven't hit him once. So this looks kind of dire, but again, just he's trying to rush me, and if we're able to connect with one of our swings, we connect with the other one just because we can poise through, and now the fight's fair. We do the rolling R1, again, very overpowered with the thrust there. Oof, and then we punish him for the running R1. Katana users, being one myself, being a heavy katana user both in Dark Souls 2 and in this game, I know how they like to play. You know, the running R1 is very powerful with the katana, so if you can read that shit and counter it, yeah, you're going to connect with massive damage, especially if you get a counter hit. So this was a unique build against this guy named Corrupted Files. Props to him for making kind of a cool build. I haven't seen this yet. he's just using the Havel Great Shield, and I just can't get through it. I mean, you know, he can easily block the Farron Greatsword because it does pure physical. So we decided to switch it up to the Lorian Greatsword and see if we can get through with some damage. And what I was thinking at this point is I'm going to wait for him to come in, because he was rushing me down a lot, as you guys can see in the beginning. And here he's doing some kind of buff. But my general strategy was I'm going to wait for him to come in and try to attack me again with that shield, and I'm gonna do the buff. I'm going to do that. So we ended up breaking his guard right there, but for some reason I just didn't recognize it and I didn't follow up. But you can see, like, he can just, you know, take hits and attack me with that shield, and it does decent damage against me. So but, you know, the strategy is staying true. We're going to wait for him to kind of think that he has an opening. See right here? Because enemies, they don't expect you to have a lot of stamina. So when they see you swinging once or twice, they think you're out of stamina, and they're going to try to rush you down. See? Like, he's rushing me down constantly. So, ooh, and that's where we exploit him. There we go. See? That's the tactic. That's the kind of stuff you got to use in order to kind of outplay or outsmart an opponent who clearly has an advantage on you. I mean, you know, if we were using a different build, we could have probably had the upper hand. But, I mean, props to this guy, like I said. He was actually pretty smart, pretty intelligent, I think. So, props to you, dude. Good fight. If you ever end up watching this, I doubt you will, but props to you. Right here, we're going up against a Greatsword, and you would think, or at least I thought, Greatswords were actually going to be one of the better weapons to use in this game, but as it turns out, they're not very good. They just lack the range. It's seemingly that, you know, that they would be quick and have good range, but they're not as quick as just regular straight swords, and they don't have the range that Greatswords do. So being kind of like that compromise on both ends doesn't really work out too well in this game, because you're likely either going to run into somebody who is using a faster weapon like a straight sword, and it's going to just be faster than you are and combo you out, or you're going to run into a weapon like I am with an ultra great sword, where I'm just going to be able to outreach you and just dodge all your attacks because your weapon isn't long enough, right? And if we do end up trading at any point in time, you know, I'm going to win out because my weapon is an ultra great sword and it does more damage, and it does more poise damage as well, so I'm going to be able to combo you, whereas you won't be able to combo me. Don't know why I ended up doing that attack. I got a little cocky, and like I said, you know, you shouldn't be doing that overhead attack, and as you can see, I took my first hit of the match because of that. So I could have easily got backstabbed there. If you can avoid it, guys, really train yourself not to do that overhead attack with the Farron Greatsword. It'll do you a world of good, trust me. So at this point, we're just kind of playing a little cautious. This guy's obviously playing a lot more cautious as well. I think he was playing the Greatsword the right way. He was waiting, you know, playing more reactive to me. And that's kind of how you have to play with a weapon like that, trying to punish me. But again, they think that once you use up like 1 or 2 swings of your weapon, you're out of stamina. And this is why I keep saying, you know, stamina is really important. It's been important ever since Demon Souls, and I've been PvPing a lot since Demon Souls. It's always been important in every game, and I win a lot of battles because I out-stamina or out-rush down or out-dodge my opponents, as you guys have seen many times in this video. Enemies think that they can rush you down once you attack, but again, just playing the right way with the right builds can really tip the scales in your favor in PvP. So in this battle, just switching it up, using the Lorian Greatsword again, but we run into a guy using the Fume Ultra Greatsword. This is a build that I want to work on after I finish my mage character. That's the character I'm working on next. So if you're thinking about making a mage or a sorcerer, I got an in-depth 120 soul level build incoming for that soon. But strength is what I want to do next, and I want to use the Fume Ultra Greatsword just because look at the damage of this weapon. It's incredible, and the range is amazing as well. And you know, the Fume Knight boss battle from Dark Souls 2 was one of my favorite boss battles in the game, and I love the Fume sword, just like the normal one, the long sword. I use that a lot in PvP, and I never really used the Fume Ultra Great Sword, but I really want to try it in this game. It looks like it could be really good since heavy weapons in this game are much more improved over Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 heavy weapons weren't really that good just because they were outclassed so heavily by faster weapons. But in this game, as you guys can see, heavy weapons definitely have come into their own and are very, very useful. So that is one of the major changes I've noticed from Dark Souls 2 over to Dark Souls 3. Right there, we had a quick battle with a guy with the Dark Moon Blade. Dark Moon Blade, not very good, so I wouldn't really recommend using it, but you know, he wanted to try something new, so prop to him. This battle, I don't even remember what it is, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to stop talking in about a second and just let the music play out and let you guys finish up watching this PvP. So hopefully you enjoyed. Again, subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it. Hopefully you picked up some tips and improved your PvP game. If you want to see more PvP videos, again, check out the channel. I got more stuff coming. I plan on making a lot of different builds with Dark Souls 3. I think the game is pretty good, and just I'm excited to explore it and see what else there is to offer. But thank you for watching, guys. Quantum is out.